Hey, Owen here, and this is just a quick little update video, and also I'm going to be answering some questions. I've been away for the past 2 weeks. I went to Bristol and then I went to Italy, if you believe that, because I look so pale. So yeah, I haven't been working on anything, so I haven't got anything to release, but hopefully this can make up for that a little bit. As you may have noticed, I am also back home now. I have moved out of my accommodation at university, which was a little bit sad, but it's good to be moving on. Next year I'm going to be living with my friends who you saw on the live stream in a house together, so that's going to be pretty awesome. I'm really looking forward to what's going to come from that. So if you follow me on social media, you'll have noticed that I'm updated my workbench a little bit. You can see it behind me over there. I've built some new brush stands and storage space for that, so I'll be making a few videos on how to build one of those using very simple materials. So that will be coming soon. So again, if you've been following me on social media, you'll know that the kit that I'm working on at the moment is this PZL P11C from Mirage Hobby in 1/48 scale, and currently the body of it anyway is looking like this. For the first time I've used Vallejo paints on it. I hope I pronounced that right, I'll have to get used to saying that. And they've applied really well. I put a coat of Humbrol primer on it before brush painting it with those, so hopefully it won't be too long before that video comes out. Also, just a little quick review of how this kit is going together. It's going alright. The fuselage was a bit warped, but generally the rest of the parts are fitting together well. Unfortunately the photo etch instrument panel, which you won't be able to see, got crushed when I fitted the two fuselage halves, even though I attempted to sand them wide enough to fit it. Just wouldn't work, unfortunately. So generally I think the moulding could be a little bit better and the fit of the parts could be a bit better, but it's going together quite well, and it's allowing me to test some different techniques on it because it's 1/48 scale, which I haven't tried before, and I'm actually really enjoying this. So watch out for more 1/48 scale videos coming in the future. So now, seems I'm here, I might as well answer some questions. So let's answer some questions. In the English Electric Lightning video, you ran a matchstick along the edge of the masking tape to avoid the paint building up against the edge. Does this really work? So I think there's been a bit of a confusion there. The reason why I ran a matchstick along the edge of the masking tape was to make sure that the masking tape was as flush as possible with the plastic to stop the paint from bleeding under the masking tape. It wasn't about avoiding paint build-up along the masking tape. If you want to avoid paint build-up along the masking tape, what you need to do is paint away from masking tape. What that will sometimes lead to is you have your masking tape and then you have an area which is unpainted, and then you have your paint. So what you want to do is, if the masking tape's like this, you can paint diagonal both ways, and then it's probably safe to do like one run along the length of the masking tape parallel with it, just to make sure that you don't have any gaps. But what you don't want to be doing, definitely do not want to be doing, is having your masking tape and painting towards it, because that will push the paint up against the masking tape and you'll end up with one of those ridges along the edge of where the tape was when you peel it off. What filler do you use? So I used to use a filler which you'll see in a lot of my older videos, which was not one made for scale modelling, and I would definitely not recommend using that. So what I've done is I've got some perfect plastic putty from Deluxe Materials, which is proper modelling filler, and it's really good. It dries, it's like got very, very fine texture, and you can do, you can sand it, you can cut it. I used it briefly towards the end of my lightning video. The English Electric Lightning is what made me want to get that, because I realised then, I don't know why it took me so long, I realised that the filler I'd been previously using was not good enough. So I definitely recommend Deluxe Materials Perfect Plastic Putty for filling the gaps on your models. And I haven't been paid or told to say that, that's just my honest opinion, and also a lot of other scale modelers I think you'll find will recommend that, so it's definitely a good product. What do you mean by one part in ratios when mixing paint? Okay, so one part is just a consistent unit of measurement which you can define to be anything you want, so long as you keep it consistent. So when I use parts, I usually use a drop, because I'll use a syringe and just put one drop in. So I usually use about 1 to 7 with Humbrol enamels, so that's 1 drop of thinner with 7 drops of the paint, and mix that together. So you could define a part as a litre, you could define a part as 5mm, you could define a part as 5 drops of paint, you could define one part as 1 drop of paint, just so long as you keep it consistent. What do you mean by silvering when talking about decals? Silvering is when the decal goes slightly greyish, or where the name comes from, silver, when you've applied them to the model, and this is because the surface that you've applied them to is still too rough, and also it could be because you haven't used decal solution. Decal solution can help, but primarily it's because the surface of the model is too rough. So what most people do is put a clear gloss coat over the paint, and because it's gloss, it's shiny, it reflects light, it's got to be smooth for that, so gloss varnish generally dries quite smooth. I sometimes use watered down PVA glue, which isn't always as reliable, but it dries quickly, and it's a bit less temperamental because it's not oil based, but I could get acrylic gloss varnish. I probably should get some acrylic gloss varnish, but what I want to try is I saw some videos on where rather than applying a clear coat over the paint, you just polish the paint, so it's very, very smooth paintwork, and I'm going to give that a go on the PZL P11C and see how it works out. I haven't tried it yet, so I can't say whether it will work or not. We'll just have to wait and see how it turns out, I guess. What brands of brushes do you recommend? Well, I haven't tried many brands, but the wider brushes that I like using for larger areas, I like the Royal and Langnickel brushes, and also the Winsor & Newton brushes. And then for finer details, I have a lot of Pro Art brushes, which are an English company, so I don't know if people will be able to find them. So I tend to use synthetic hair brushes like Gold Tacklon, because they work with both acrylics and enamels. However, really I want to try and make it so that I have a set of natural hair brushes for doing oils and enamels, and a set of synthetic hair brushes for doing acrylics and watercolour stuff, because it's best if you do keep your brushes separate, because things like the oils can and also the acrylics can eat away at the bristles and stuff and just ruin them. So really, best practice, you don't use the same brushes for different medium, but I do. I'm a bad example. So I'm going to leave it at this. This was just a quick little filler video while I keep working on things. Hopefully within the next few weeks there'll be some more proper videos up. I'd like to hear whether you think that this style of video is alright, whether it's enjoyable. Maybe I could make these more regular because they don't take too much time for me to make. So leave your thoughts in the comments below, I'd really appreciate that. So yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.